Well, DEI, Cracker Barrel, woke. And somebody might ask and say, Pastor Dow, why are you laughing? Because if it ain't one thing, it's another. You'll think that these big, gigantic corporations would learn. I mean, from the new Coke, Bud Light, now Cracker Barrel. And as far as I can tell, this is a bipartisan situation that's going on here too, because think about this. All types of people from all different races, if you want to call them that and be pure, I'm just going to go ahead and speak the language out here that people are used to talking and leave it at that. Eat a Cracker Barrel. Now, Cracker Barrel since done changed from a lot of stuff. Their maple syrup is no longer pure maple syrup anymore. It's high fructose corn syrup, loaded with it. So if you're going to go to Cracker Barrel and you expect you're getting syrup, probably the butter is probably not even butter no more. It's more likely margarine. They're making a lot of cuts in a lot of things, but this is not what this video is about. This video is about woke. It's about going woke. Cracker Barrel immediately lost $100 million in one day. Stocks plummeted. They have to understand, there's a certain nostalgia about history. Now, y'all probably won't like my take on a lot of things. Y'all probably won't. And of course, that's your prerogative. All I am here to do is give you my opinion, and sometimes my advice on things that I would do, which for myself personally has bode well and been extremely successful. But I'm going to say this. I'm not with all this pulling down history here in America. Like pulling down statues of Confederate generals and changing the logo from the old white man sitting in a rocking chair at Cracker Barrel in order to try to appease a small minority, because it is a small minority. And of course, CNN is the one who pushes its agenda along with that fathead ignorant man called Roland Martin. He does the same too. It's sad when I sit and listen to these people talk. There's no sense in anything, because believe it or not, if you're talking about things that are social, political, and economics, religion or people's belief is going to come involved. It's going to come in place. And Cracker Barrel just found out that both conservatives and liberals, they're not with this changing everything for the woke agenda. I mean, think about it. Cracker Barrel got a new CEO, woman, and first thing she wanted to do, get to the shareholders and change the logo for woke. And a lot of people think that this woke stuff is going everywhere. Listen, I want children in this country to understand something. Racism in America is just like the flag and apple pie. It is. I mean, most people, they lose their memory real fast. It escapes them real fast. See, I haven't forgot that the original Constitution of the United States of America said that my people were 3/5 human. Well, it's been amended, okay? Yeah, but have you ever tried, a lot of people have not ever tried living in my shoes in this country. Well, it's kind of hard to if you don't live in my skin. And racism, discrimination, utterly amazing. It's still here. It's still here. And it shows up all over the place. Even in the ministry, we had a brother that you have thought that would be so, at one time he showed himself so loving and so kind, developed a very beautiful family, and he did not mind calling a melanated brother the N-word, and did it 3 times. 3 times. And of course, now you're not going to get nowhere too far with that, but so it seems like that Cracker Barrel has decided to take some smelling salt and renege on this woke agenda and changing the logo from the new woke logo, and they're going to keep the old man up because people just ain't going there no more. Now, I want to see how they're going to rebound from this, because there's a thing such as all publicity is good publicity, be it negative or positive. And it's just like anything in this world. You're not going to get everybody to agree on the same thing. I mean, everybody has, some people are physically conservatives, some people are liberals, and they even view the scripture from that perspective and point of view. Myself, I'm concrete. I'll give you an example. All right, so the majority of people, some people who actually attend church, I'm giving an example of people who love and live lies as opposed to those who love truth, okay? Because remember, Jesus said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life, and no man can come unto the Father but by me. Is that right? All right, now, over in Exodus chapter 20, well, that's the Old Testament, Pastor Dow. Hold on, I'm going to draw it on here real quick. It says, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shall you labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahweh your Elohim. In it you shall not do any work. You, your son, your daughter, nor your male servant, your manservant, your maidservant, nor your cattle, nor your strangers within your gates. For in 6 days Yah made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and wherefore Yah blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. He rested. So, all right, so watch this now, okay? Now, I may have said some words a little bit different because sometimes now I get confused with a more concrete mechanical translation of what scripture actually says as opposed to the King James version, but you get what I'm saying. So it tells you that the seventh day is the Sabbath day, and we all know that the seventh day of the week is Saturday, right? Starts at Friday night, nightfall, and ends at Saturday night, right? But look what everybody else does. They do Sunday, first day. See, the ones who celebrate or rest on Sunday are liars. Now, all I'm doing is just giving you an example. And then when you go to Luke 4:16, you see that, and Jesus, as his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day. The Sabbath day has never been repealed. The Sabbath day has never been the first day, but yet and still, you have a religion out here that says that the Catholic Church has the sole right to be able to change it. So, guess what? People being ignorant and dumb as they are, don't care about the soul eternal salvation and living in disobedience. They choose to go with the Catholic Church as opposed to what is written in the book. Choice and prerogative. Now, I hope I didn't make any enemies because I just told you the truth. I hope I didn't make no enemies whatsoever because that wasn't my idea. My idea was to give you an example how people view things and see things. And it's just utterly amazing the contention that happens nowadays. But listen, there are things in the United States of America that just simply do not need to change. When you go into Cracker Barrel, I remember when I go into that store, it reminds me of the way my grandmother's house used to look. I remember some of the very things I see on the wall. I remember playing with as a child. I remember my grandmother using as she would cook us meals and stuff. I remember all that stuff, man. I was like, wow. And then it also lets me know when I look in the mirror, man, you are getting old if you can remember all this stuff. Because most people in this generation can look at these items that are on the walls and go, what in the world is this stuff? I remember the calendars and stuff, but I can tell you this. America, in its conservative perspective and viewpoint, as far as that goes, was better off in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and 80s than it is today. Now, people have a hell of a lot more freedom and liberty, but there's more freedom and liberty that genders towards rebellion. Now, I didn't say it was better off for a certain demographic of people because we've been fighting for a long, long time in this country. A long, long time. So Cracker Barrel decided to listen to Donald Trump says, leave the old man up. No, they didn't listen to Donald Trump. They listened to that $100 million drop in one day in stocks. That's what they listened to. It's all about the money. The God, when you read on that $1 bill, it says, in God we trust. You better believe it's that paper that's on that, and that printing that's on that $1 bill. That's the God that they believe in. And the God that they believe in is the government of the United States of America. And that's the truth, and that's the true straight way. So, are you going to continue to keep going to Cracker Barrel now that they have woke up? Or are you going to reject them because they even decided to dip their toe into the waters to try to change something that is entrenched in America like baseball and apple pie? I don't know. You tell me.